Many people want their life to change, but they keep waiting for a special moment. They wait for a new year. They wait for Monday. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until life becomes easier. But sometimes life does not change because the perfect moment arrives. Life changes because one ordinary day becomes the day we stop lying to ourselves. Maybe you know this feeling. You wake up and promise yourself, today will be different. But after a few hours, the same habits return. You check your phone too much. You delay the important work. You eat badly. You sleep late. You tell yourself you will begin tomorrow. And slowly, tomorrow becomes another tomorrow. One evening, a young man named Daniel sat at the edge of his bed and looked around his room. His notebook was still empty. His shoes were near the door, but he had not gone for a walk in weeks. His phone battery was almost dead because he had spent hours watching things he did not even remember. Nothing terrible had happened that day. But that was the problem. It was just another normal day. Another day that looked exactly like yesterday. Another day where he had promised change, but chosen comfort. In that quiet moment, Daniel understood something simple. If he continued living the same way, the next 90 days would pass, and nothing would be different. This is the truth many people avoid. 90 days will pass anyway. The question is not whether time will move. The question is what kind of person you will become while time is moving. The next 90 days do not need to be perfect. You do not need to change everything. You do not need to become a completely different person overnight. But you do need to begin, and the beginning is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is one clear decision. For the next 90 days, I will stop wasting my life in small ways. Before Daniel changed his habits, he had to face one uncomfortable question. Who am I becoming? Most people ask, what do I want? They want success. They want confidence. They want a better body. They want more money. They want respect. They want peace. These things are not wrong, but they are incomplete. A better question is, what kind of person can build that life? If you want peace, you must become a person who does not give attention to every argument. If you want discipline, you must become a person who keeps small promises. If you want confidence, you must become a person who acts even when fear is present. If you want a better future, you must become a person who stops giving the best hours of the day to distractions. Daniel opened his notebook and wrote one sentence. I am becoming a man I can trust. It was not a perfect sentence. It was not a magic sentence. But it gave him direction. Then he wrote 3 simple words under it. Health, focus, peace. He did not choose 10 goals. He did not create a complicated plan. He chose 3 areas that would change the quality of his life. For health, he decided to walk every morning for 20 minutes. For focus, he decided to work for 1 hour before using social media. For peace, he decided not to answer every message immediately. These actions looked small. But small actions are not weak when they are repeated. A small key can open a large door. A small match can start a fire. A small habit can change the direction of a life. This is the first quiet truth of a 90-day transformation. Do not begin with a fantasy. Begin with a clear identity. Ask yourself, who am I becoming? Then choose one small action that proves it today. Daniel's first morning was not special. He didn't wake up with powerful motivation. He did not feel like a hero. He only felt sleepy. For a few minutes, he almost reached for his phone. That was his old habit. His hand moved before his mind even made a decision. But then he remembered the notebook. I am becoming a man I can trust. So he stood up, put on his shoes, and walked outside. The street was still quiet. The air was cool. Some shops were not open yet. The world had not changed, but something inside him had moved slightly. He had kept one promise. That is how change begins. Not with a loud victory, but with one small promise kept in silence. But here is where many people make a mistake. They try to add new habits without removing the old habits that are stealing their life. You cannot build focus while feeding distraction all day. You cannot build health while treating sleep like it does not matter. You cannot build confidence while breaking promises to yourself again and again. You cannot build peace while opening the door to every drama, every opinion, and every unnecessary argument. Daniel realized that his problem was not only that he needed better habits. His problem was that some old habits were quietly eating his time. So he made a second list. The habits I must stop feeding. He wrote, phone in bed, social media before work, sleeping after midnight for no reason, saying yes when I want to say no, starting tasks only when I feel ready. This list was not comfortable to read, but honesty is often the first medicine. Many people cannot change because they protect their excuses. They say, I am busy, but they spend 2 hours scrolling. They say, I am tired, but they sleep late every night. They say, I cannot focus, but they keep their phone beside them during every task. This is not because they are bad people. It is because their environment is stronger than their intention. If your phone is beside you, you will touch it. If unhealthy food is always in front of you, you will eat it. If your room is full of disorder, your mind may feel heavy. If you spend all your time with people who laugh at growth, your own growth will feel strange. Willpower is useful, but environment is powerful. So Daniel changed his environment in simple ways. At night, he put his phone across the room. Before work, he turned off notifications. He placed his walking shoes near the door. He kept a book on his desk. He wrote the next day's 3 important tasks before sleeping. None of these actions looked exciting, but they made good choices easier. And that matters. A person does not rise to the level of their dreams every day. Many times, a person falls to the level of their system. If your system is weak, your dream becomes heavy. If your system is simple, your dream becomes easier to carry. Before we move deeper, think about your own life. What is one habit that is quietly stealing your future? Maybe it is not a big dramatic problem. Maybe it is only 30 minutes wasted here, 1 hour wasted there, one small excuse repeated every day. But in 90 days, small leaks can empty a large bucket. So do not only ask, what should I start? Ask, what should I stop feeding? After the first week, Daniel felt proud. He had walked almost every morning. He had worked before checking social media. He had slept earlier on most nights. Then the second week came, and the excitement became weaker. This is the place where many people quit. The first week feels new, the second week feels real. Daniel woke up one rainy morning and did not want to walk. His body felt heavy. His mind began to negotiate. Maybe today does not matter. I can start again tomorrow. One day is not a big problem. And yes, one day is not a big problem, but one repeated excuse can become a lifestyle. So Daniel did something important. He did not force himself to do the full walk. He only promised 5 minutes. He put on his shoes and walked to the end of the street. After 5 minutes, he continued for 10. After 10, he continued for 20. When he returned home, he understood another quiet truth. Starting is often harder than continuing. This is why the 5-minute rule is useful. When your mind resists, do not argue with it for 1 hour. Just begin for 5 minutes. Read for 5 minutes. Walk for 5 minutes. Clean for 5 minutes. Write for 5 minutes. Practice English for 5 minutes. Begin your important work for 5 minutes. 5 minutes may look small, but it breaks the wall of resistance. Discipline is not always a strong feeling. Sometimes discipline is simply reducing the size of the action until you can begin. This is important because your 90-day journey will not be filled with perfect days. Some days will be busy. Some days will feel heavy. Some days you will make mistakes. Some days you will not complete the full routine. But do not let 1 weak day become 1 weak week. A small return is better than a perfect excuse. Daniel wrote another sentence in his notebook. Never miss twice. If he missed 1 walk, he returned the next day. If he wasted 1 evening, he protected the next morning. If he slept late 1 night, he did not use that as permission to destroy the whole week. This changed his mindset. Before, 1 mistake made him feel like a failure. Now, 1 mistake became information. It showed him where his system needed help. Maybe he needed to sleep earlier. Maybe he needed to prepare his clothes at night. Maybe he needed to stop working too late. Maybe he needed to remove 1 unnecessary commitment. A mistake is not always a message that you are weak. Sometimes it is a message that your plan needs to become clearer. The next part of Daniel's 90 days was about time. He believed he did not have enough time, but when he looked carefully, he saw the truth. His time was not gone, it was scattered. 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 1 hour on the phone, another hour in random videos. Long conversations that gave him nothing but stress. His day was like a pocket with small holes. Time kept falling out, but he did not notice where it went. So for 3 days, he watched his time honestly, not with shame, not with anger, just with awareness. He discovered that he spent his best energy on unimportant things and gave his tired energy to important things. This is a common problem. Many people give their morning mind to the phone, then try to build their future with whatever energy is left. They give their calm attention to other people's lives, then wonder why their own life feels delayed. For the next 90 days, protect your best hours. Your first hour can shape your whole day. Do not give it away too quickly. Use the beginning of your day to return to yourself. Drink water, move your body, write your plan, read something useful. Practice English. Work on 1 meaningful task. You do not need a perfect morning routine. You need a morning that does not immediately make you weaker. Daniel made 1 rule: no phone for the first 30 minutes. At first, this felt uncomfortable. His mind wanted noise, his hand wanted the screen. But slowly the morning became quieter. And in that quiet, he began to hear his own thoughts again. He noticed something powerful. When he controlled his morning, he felt less controlled by the rest of the day. This does not mean every day became easy. But he entered the day with more self-respect. He was no longer beginning his day by reacting to the world. He was beginning by choosing himself. Your attention is one of your most valuable possessions. Whatever receives your attention receives part of your life. If you give attention to fear all day, fear grows. If you give attention to drama all day, drama grows. If you give attention to your plan grows. If you give attention to your skill grows. If you give attention to peace, peace grows. So ask yourself every day, what am I feeding with my attention? This question can protect your life. During the second month, Daniel began to understand that a 90-day transformation is not only about doing more, it is also about becoming quieter inside. At work, people still complained. His phone still had notifications. Problems still came. Life did not become soft just because he decided to improve. But he started responding differently. One afternoon, someone sent him a message that felt disrespectful. His old self would have answered immediately. He would have explained too much. He would have defended himself. He would have spent the next 2 hours thinking about the conversation. But this time he paused. He put the phone down. He breathed slowly. Then he asked himself, will my answer protect my peace, or will it feed the problem? That pause saved him. Not every message deserves your immediate emotion. Not every opinion deserves your explanation. Not every person needs access to your nervous system. Sometimes the strongest answer is not a long reply. Sometimes the strongest answer is calm distance. This does not mean you become cold. It means you become careful with your energy. A peaceful person is not someone who has no problems. A peaceful person is someone who no longer gives every problem permission to enter their heart. For Daniel, this was a new kind of discipline. Walking was discipline. Working was discipline. Sleeping earlier was discipline. But staying calm was also discipline. Sometimes the hardest habit to break is not phone use or laziness. Sometimes the hardest habit to break is reacting too quickly. For the next 90 days, practice the pause. Pause before answering. Pause before quitting. Pause before buying something you do not need. Pause before saying yes. Pause before speaking from anger. Pause before returning to an old habit. A pause creates space, and in that space, you can choose a better version of yourself. By the final month, Daniel's life did not look perfect. He was not rich. He did not have a perfect body. He did not suddenly become fearless. He still had difficult days. But something important had changed. He trusted himself more. One morning, he opened his notebook and looked at the pages. There were check marks, missed days, short notes, small lessons, and honest reflections. Some pages were neat, some were messy. But they were proof. Proof that he had returned. Proof that he had tried. Proof that he had stopped waiting for perfect motivation. Proof that he had built a quiet relationship with himself. That morning, he woke up before the alarm. For a moment he smiled. Not because life was finished, not because every goal was complete, but because he was no longer the same person who sat on the edge of the bed 90 days ago, feeling disappointed with himself. This is the emotional reward of discipline. You begin by wanting results, but slowly you receive something deeper. Self-respect. You learn that you can keep a promise. You learn that you can begin again. You learn that one bad day does not own you. You learn that your future is not built by feelings alone. You learn that small daily actions are stronger than big temporary excitement. And perhaps most importantly, You learn that change does not need to be loud to be real. A seed grows in silence. A house is built one brick at a time. A notebook is filled one page at a time. A life is changed one honest day at a time. So what should you do for the next 90 days? Keep it simple. Choose 3 areas of your life. 1 for your body, 1 for your mind, 1 for your future. For your body, move every day or almost every day. Walk, stretch, exercise, sleep better, drink water, eat with more respect for yourself. For your mind, protect what enters it. Reduce useless noise. Read something helpful. Listen to calm and useful content. Spend a few minutes in silence. For your future, practice 1 skill. English, writing, communication, business, technology, design, leadership, or any skill that can make your life stronger. Do not try to become perfect. Try to become consistent. Write your plan. Morning, 1 action for health. Daytime, 1 action for focus. Evening, 1 action for reflection or learning. Track your days. Review your week. Adjust when needed. Return when you fall. And remember this, the goal of 90 days is not only to complete a challenge. The goal is to become a person who does not abandon themselves. Because after 90 days, life will continue. Problems will still come, new goals will appear, new seasons will begin. But if you have learned how to show up, how to protect your time, how to return after failure, and how to keep small promises, you will carry those lessons into every part of your life. That is why this journey matters. Not because 90 days can magically fix everything, but because 90 days can prove something to you. You are not trapped in your old pattern. You are not finished because of your past. You are not powerless because you failed before. You can begin again, quietly, today. Maybe your first step is small. Maybe tonight you put your phone away earlier. Maybe tomorrow morning you walk for 10 minutes. Maybe you open a notebook and write 1 honest sentence. Maybe you practice English for 15 minutes. Maybe you say no to 1 distraction. Maybe you return to a dream you stopped believing in. Do not disrespect small beginnings. Many strong lives begin with 1 small private decision that nobody else sees. The next 90 days will pass. Let them pass with purpose. Let them pass with better habits. Let them pass with more peace, more focus, more health, more patience, and more self-respect. And when you reach the final day, do not only ask, "What did I achieve?" Ask, "Who did I become?" Because that is the real transformation. A better life begins when you stop waiting for a perfect moment and start keeping 1 small promise today.